Let's jump right into it. Today's explainer is unraveling what is, without a doubt, the most consequential and frankly mysterious cyber leak in modern intelligence history. We are talking about a massive breach of the world's most secure digital fortress and looking at exactly how military-grade US cyber weapons somehow ended up in the hands of global criminals. The whole thing kicks off with a completely unhinged demand: 1 million Bitcoin. Back in August 2016, this totally unknown entity calling themselves the Shadow Brokers just pops up online. They demand this impossible ransom, which equated to roughly $500 million at the time, by the way, to hand back a massive cache of stolen US cyber weapons. It was basically a digital hostage situation unlike anything we had ever seen, playing out as a very public online auction.
Okay, part one, the setup and what was actually stolen.
To really wrap our heads around the scale of this mystery, we have to look at the victim here, the NSA's absolute most elite hacking unit. You probably know them as the Equation Group. That wasn't their official government name, of course. The cybersecurity firm Kaspersky Lab actually dubbed them that back in 2015 when they exposed a team that seemingly had limitless budgets. They got the nickname because they used these incredibly complex mathematical algorithms for their encryption and payloads. This unit is widely linked to the NSA's Tailored Access Operations, or TAO. These were the ghosts, the best of the best, operating entirely in the shadows. And the thieves didn't just walk away with a few passwords. They walked away with Stuxnet-level digital weapons. We're talking about tools like EternalBlue, which was essentially a master skeleton key capable of bypassing Windows security on a global scale. Plus, they grabbed entire infiltration platforms like Danderspritz and Fuzzbunch, tools specifically designed to crack industrial-grade firewalls, and even exploits meant to penetrate the SWIFT international banking system. So yeah, they stole the absolute apex of digital weaponry. Moving into part two, the leak in the incredibly strange 2016 to 2017 timeline. Because the way this all played out was just wild. What started in August 2016 as this cryptic, kind of failed online auction on platforms like Twitter and GitHub slowly escalated into a total nightmare. When literally nobody paid the 1 million Bitcoin, they dropped the price to 10,000 Bitcoin in October. Then they kind of complained for a bit, went completely dark in January 2017, and then, in April 2017, they did the unthinkable. They just released their most damaging cache, a file titled Lost in Translation, entirely for free. They weren't trying to sell the weapons anymore, they were just dumping them on the digital street corner for anyone to pick up. And from day one, their communication style was hyper-scrutinized. As you can see, they announced themselves by addressing government sponsors of cyber warfare, but they wrote in this incredibly broken, erratic English, just full of strange grammar and bizarre, rambling rants. Naturally, researchers instantly started pulling every single sentence apart, looking for any breadcrumb that might reveal who was actually sitting behind the keyboard. Which brings us to part three: suspects, spies, and insiders. This is the real hook of our explainer today. Who actually pulled this off? We've got two main theories here. On one side, you have the Russian state actor theory. People like Edward Snowden suggested this leak was a massive geopolitical warning to the US, purposefully timed to distract from the 2016 election meddling. But on the flip side, researchers like Matt Sweetche heavily argue for the rogue NSA insider theory. Why? Because the shadow brokers showed this incredibly deep, highly specific knowledge of internal TAO culture. They knew the operational notes, they knew the actual names of TAO hackers, and their posts expressed some very specific personal anger toward former colleagues. And the linguistic forensics makes this debate even more fascinating. Analysts noticed specific grammatical oddities, like how they consistently dropped definite and indefinite articles, skipping words like and In the forensics world, that often points to a native Russian or Slavic speaker, since those languages just don't use articles the same way English does. They also messed up ing verb endings, saying stuff like they are go. But here's the catch. A lot of brilliant researchers argue those errors were almost too obvious. Was it a deliberate caricature? An intentional false flag planted by a native English speaker just trying to throw the feds off their trail? Amidst all this finger-pointing, the FBI actually thought they had their guy. In August 2016, they raided the Maryland home of Harold T. Martin III, an NSA contractor who had worked with TAO, and they found a staggering amount of data. We're talking 50 terabytes of highly classified info just hoarded in his garage and his car. But, and this is a massive but, the shadow brokers kept posting and dumping files while Martin was literally sitting in jail. So was he a source whose stash got secretly exfiltrated by foreign antivirus software, or was his arrest just the unluckiest, most wildly timed coincidence ever? Let's look at part 4, the devastating global fallout.
Because regardless of who actually stole these tools, once they were handed out for free, the real-world consequences were immediate and absolutely devastating. Cybercriminals and nation-states didn't wait around. They immediately weaponized that EternalBlue master key we talked about earlier. They strapped this NSA exploit to ransomware, which unleashed WannaCry and NotPetya. These quickly became some of the most destructive digital outbreaks in human history, locking up computers globally and extorting users just to get their own files back.
To put the scale of that chaos into perspective, the total estimated global damages from the NotPetya attack alone reached $10 billion. That is billion with a B. It wasn't just some technical glitch. This was a full-blown economic catastrophe that completely crippled supply chains, shut down hospitals, and paralyzed critical infrastructure. Just look at the corporate carnage here. Merck Pharmaceuticals got hit so hard that 15,000 of their machines were infected and completely encrypted in just 90 seconds. 90 seconds. That led to an estimated $870 million in damages for them. The global shipping giant Maersk took a $300 million hit with their entire massive logistics network brought to a dead stop. And remember, all of this destruction was powered by a tool originally built with US taxpayer dollars. And finally, Part 5, an unsolved digital mystery. After effectively burning down massive portions of the internet, exposing the NSA's internal security practices to the world, and forcing the agency to rebuild its operations from scratch, the timeline just stops. By October 2017, the shadow brokers went completely silent. They took the meager 10 Bitcoin they actually managed to make from their failed option, laundered it through the dark web, and just walked away. They abandoned their accounts and vanished without a trace. No manifesto, no goodbye. They just left behind an open counterintelligence investigation, immense geopolitical tension, and absolutely zero arrests. So as we wrap up this explainer and reflect on what is arguably a catastrophic intelligence failure, we are left with a pretty haunting realization. We know exactly what was taken, and we know the billions of dollars in damage it caused. But despite the full weight of modern technology and intelligence, we still do not know who actually pulled off the greatest hack in history. So I'll leave you with this. Who is still out there hiding in the shadows today? And what else might they have the keys to?